Nation of a linear set of activities or training processes or things that are necessary for us to do in order to let the mind go. It's not necessarily that simple. It's a little bit more of a counterintuitive, integrated process. We talk about grounding yourself every day, being present on a daily basis. This is us being engaged with ourselves, recognizing our emotions, being completely engaged with what's being presented before us, and continuously coming back to the heart space, coming back to peace. This is something that we can do on a daily basis and make it an integrated aspect of our experience. I teach a class called Integrated Meditation. Integrated Meditation I teach to a lot of business people, people who have a very active lifestyle. And what I talk about is the 2-3 minute rule. Sometimes it's 1 minute. Just being able to sit amongst the activities of life. You may be on the go or in between meetings or at the doctor's office or in the midst of a commute. Of course, not in a car, but of course, if you're commuting public transportation or on a bus, whenever there's a space of being where you can actually engage with your heart space and sit and be and recognize your heart. This recognition of the heart space is something that you cultivate on a daily basis, and it's not based on any particular ceremony. It's just in your ability to continue to recognize your heart amongst the myriad of activity that takes place on a daily basis. As you continue to engage your heart space and you open your eyes, you recognize the intensity of the emotions and the energy that you have and your ability to focus, to engage with whatever's being presented to you at present. We talked about this before too. Meditation is about us being fully invested, 100% engaged in whatever's taking place in front of us, because the now moment is always the most important moment in life. What's happening now is the most important moment in all of your existence. That's taking place right now. Whatever conversation this is, whatever you're paying attention to, this is the most important thing in all of your existence. And it deserves 100% of all your energy, 100% of all your emotions, 100% of all your focus, versus being scatterbrained and kind of being here 30% and 20% on what's got to happen next and what you want to eat later and what's for lunch or what the kids are doing or what you got to do at the office or what's the next priority, and all of this energy is all over the place, versus 100% of all of your being here in the present moment, all of your energy being here. This is you operating at a genius level of focus. When you're 100% present, all of who you are as a creator you have access to, because all of your energy is here. Being that this moment is the most important moment in all of your existence, wouldn't you want to be the most efficient and effective in your decision-making process? This is the most important moment of all of your life. Wouldn't you want to have all that energy invested in your decision-making at present? Of course you would. How you feel right now decides what happens next. How you feel right now decides what happens next. The conditions of that which is unfolding. So this is a lifestyle choice, this grounding that we talk about so often. As you continue to ground on a daily basis and pay more attention to what's happening in front of you, your decisions are more precise. You're more sensitive to the undercurrent in all conversations, in all interactions. The need to constantly discern or decide and figure out and kind of toy with all these ideas wouldn't be necessary, because once again, you're 100% engaged in everything that you do. This is the nature of the grounding process, as you allow this to become a part of your lifestyle. There's a natural function within the body, within the mind identity, as you continue to recognize the heart as the centerpiece, the foundation of all your being. Where the mind identity becomes secondary. This happens naturally as you practice this on a daily basis, as it becomes a lifestyle choice. The mind identity becomes secondary, where the heart space is primary. You're continuously in this space, and usually there's a radiance of peace within this space, where there's not a lot of mental activity taking place. If this is the centerpiece of your life is mental activity and questions and that which you hear and overhear and thoughts that you receive. This is a radio. The radio receiver is going to constantly receive that which is all throughout the airways. All the radio stations and channels are always on. And because this is the centerpiece, you're constantly engaged with this mental activity. When you're constantly engaged with this mental activity, there's no foundation. Each and everything that you hear, you're aware of, you're judging, you're contemplating, you're analyzing, attempting to become more aware of, and expanding all these packets of information constantly, where your energy is constantly being drained and allocated to random ideas, random thoughts, random energies, and things that you feel on a daily basis. So all of your energy is just, of course, you can't be depleted. You are energy itself. You're the creator. This is where, like, when we talk about energy vampires and people depleting your energy or taking your energy from you, fall short, because once again, you're an infinite being. You're energy itself. You're the creator. So there is nothing that can deplete your energy. You have an infinite supply of energy. It's just that, of course, the mind identity has this idea of limitation and feels that we're limited. So in some way, shape, or form, we're in danger of someone taking all of our energy. Someone outside of us taking all of our energy away where we don't exist. Of course, this is limited. This is an illusion. I am energy. Those that I observe and the people that are around me are manifestations of my energy. So how can someone that is a manifestation of my energy take all of my energy? How? Mental exhaustion, programs of limitation. That whole idea is based on limitation, as if I am not infinite and I am not the energy that I observe. This is easily this framework in which I'm victimized as the creator. These people are manifestations of my energy. How can you take from me? So once again, I digress. The lifestyle of continuing to cultivate this sense of presence and allowing this to be the centerpiece where you exist in more and more trust of yourself, of your experience, of all that you experience and you connect with. You develop a sense of objectiveness or objectivity to all that you observe. Because this is a centerpiece. You recognize a mind identity and its activity, and none of it being owned by you. So when you say thoughts, they're not your thoughts, because once again, thoughts don't belong to you. They're things that the brain receives and observes. You get to choose what thoughts you give energy to. And of course, whatever you give energy to has life. That which you do not entertain, that you may observe in the mind identity, has no life. It doesn't exist unless you choose to invest your energy into it. It does not exist until you choose to give it energy, to validate it. You hear thoughts and things that you never do and never say constantly, all the time. But once again, they don't really exist unless you choose to emotionally invest in those thoughts. You are the life provider. Whatever you choose to invest your emotional energy into, you give life to. When you decide to disconnect or stop investing emotional energy into those things, they die off. They do not exist. Once again, when God leaves the room, you only have illusions. When God leaves the room, nothing exists anymore. So, let us continue. First and foremost, making this the centerpiece of your existence is priority one. This is you grounding. This is you grounding. Priority one. This is the centerpiece of your existence. Please excuse my phone. It's tripping a little bit. Returning to the heart space is priority one. This is where we recognize ourselves, and this is where we can get into the details of working with the functions of our ability to manifest. Priority one. Once you get in your heart space and you exist here more, then you can get into the details of how the functionalities of manifestation take place. Grounding is necessary first. That's why we stress it so much or reiterate that idea so much. Grounding is absolutely necessary, first and foremost. Because then you have a conscious recognition of who you are as a creator. You have a foundation to stand on. That's your foundation, existing here. We can get into manifestation and all that other kind of stuff later. People want to open their third eye and do all this extraordinary magic and so on and so forth. But once again, we're existing in the mind identity and allowing the activity that takes place here to be the foundation of our existence, which is not a foundation at all. Each and every day we're focused on grounding. We're letting go of questions. Questions, because once again, questions only lead to more questions. Endless questions. We can ask questions about anything, and we'll have an endless conversation of questions. There's no foundation in that. There's just mental activity and speculation and analysis of things outside of us and people and who was Jesus's and what he do, and it's like consciousness has everything to do with you recognizing who you are as a creator first and foremost. That's your foundation. That's your foundation. That's you awakening, being conscious of who you are as a foundation of your existence and responsible for everything that you observe in this holographic reality. First and foremost, all the questions can go out the window. First and foremost, who you are and your foundation. Peace. It's not about thinking positive or thinking negative or thinking nothing, or your thoughts and suicidal thoughts and so on and so forth. Your foundation. Peace. First and foremost. Now, let's continue forth. And we're speaking in recognition that you've somehow recognized the foundation of your being. This is where we work from. In truth, you're superheroes recognizing your own superpowers of manifestation. You're manifestations of the Creator. And you have access to great reserves of creator ability and energy to manifest whatever it is that you desire to manifest. But your foundation is necessary, first and foremost, top priority.